Hi everybody, it's Chris here from the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel. Just to let you know, as always, this podcast is now part of the 90-Minute Football Network and proudly sponsored by www.pt-4-u.co.uk. Enjoy the episode. Hello and welcome back to the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel and podcast, and we are back with a match preview for Newcastle United v Everton game. I am joined by Extra Time's very own Roger Banks. Evening, Roger.
Yeah, Reece, how we doing?
That was a very polite wave.
It's the Queen's Jubilee. Do you know what I mean?
Right, okay.
So, got to drop some Lizzie respect.
Okay, and you will see or hear two new faces to the channel. You would have seen them in the past, but we have Ian and Harry back. Evening, boys. How are you two doing?
Good, thank you very much. Mate.
I'm saying evening. I'm recording on an evening. I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I'm good. You might hear some background noise because I've got both kids with us. So last time I did one of these, the boards didn't say, "Dad, you need to plug me switch in." That's what we got on the last live recording. But this one's pre-recorded, so we're good.
Fingers crossed.
So yeah. It's been a couple of weeks, boys. The team have been off to Saudi Arabia. We've got a lot of new faces in the door. I'll start with you, Roger. Which one of the new boys are you most looking forward to seeing?
There's only one answer to that question, isn't there? Matty Target, straight away. No, Bruno, hopefully. See what all the fuss is about. Obviously, there's people who are infinitely more in the know than me that have at least seen his stats on Football Manager. But yeah, I'm excited to see him. I think there's been a lot of word about it's one of the most anticipated debuts in a long time. So yeah, hopefully he links up with Joe Linton in the midfield, and yeah,
let's hope it's not like the debut. Who was a Swansea player? Was it Sanchez?
Oh, Renato
His debut
Sanchez
was against us, and Sky Sports were just Sanchez. And he had an absolute stinker.
Yeah,
touched the ball like 3 times.
Yeah. Cheers for bringing the mood down, Chris.
Sorry, mate. But I'll come to you, Harry. Is it the same for you, Bruno? The one that you're looking forward to seeing?
Yeah, 100%. We need a midfielder who's going to pick the ball up, and his first thought is to run towards the opposition's goal rather than back to the keeper. And I think that's what he's going to bring to the team 100%. And more passing forward. I hope he's more attacking, picks it up and moves. I think he's going to be his playmaking. Hopefully, will be like Shelby's, but hopefully he'll follow through to the edge of the box rather than just stay in his own half.
Ian, same for you. I think we're all unanimous here, aren't we?
Yeah, same. Definitely Bruno's the one that is obviously your sort of big money signing. I think as well, what will be quite interesting to see is how Target links up with St Maximum on the left. Obviously, we've had Dummett there the last couple of games, and we know Dummett's not really an attacking fullback. So it'll be interesting to see sort of if Target links up with St Maximum. Obviously, if they can sort of get them more out of St Maximum going forward, sort of with him linking up.
Yeah, I'll stay with you, Ian. Can you see all the new lads coming straight into the team?
Target definitely. Obviously, we've had Trippier and Wood there. Bruno, we've sort of discussed on Extra Time on Friday. He's probably not going to be a player that you pay all that money off to sit on the bench. The only one that I'm uncertain on is Dan Burn. Ideally, you would like him to come in. Again, on Friday, we were saying who would you like him to play alongside, and I think the majority were said either Fernandes. With him not being fit, Shaw. I just really, really hope it's not with Lascelles.
I'll be stunned if Dan Burn doesn't start. I will be.
Whose spot does he take? Like Ian just said there.
I think he'll take Shaw's spot.
Just because it's the easiest cop out, really, isn't it? For
easiest option, unless Lascelles went off injured against Leeds, but it seems like he's probably back to fitness. So Lascelles is his captain, and I would be shocked if Burn doesn't play because he's a left-sided centre back as well. So I think we'll have Trippier, Target and Dan Burn with, I think, Lascelles. Honestly, I'll be really shocked if Dan Burn, out of all of them, if Bruno didn't start, I wouldn't be surprised. If Target didn't start, I'd be like, well, maybe he's not. But like, if Burn didn't start, I'd be like, all right, it's a bit weird. But yeah.
So that's it for you, Harry.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to look at it as well, because if you drop Lascelles, in my opinion, the performance of the player is going to be better. I feel like Shaw and Burn are best two full centre backs at the minute. But morale as well. Like if you drop Lascelles, who's been the captain for such a long time, will that affect the players? And then will that affect the performance? I think there's two ways where if you drop Lascelles, you might be putting a better centre back in, no, but how are the players around and in the dressing room going to react to that?
I think it's a good shout, but I think with the abundance of players that came in, Roger, it's one of those ones where you're looking at 5 new players coming in that starting 11, really. So team morale right now, Eddie Howe's going to have to build that up from scratch, really, with the new players coming in. So I think now is probably an ideal time to drop Lascelles and replace him as the captain of the team, and think, right, we can't carry you along just because you're the captain of this football club.
Yeah,
we need to get points on the board.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's shown that he can be ruthless with the treatment of, not the treatment of, sounds a bit dramatic, but with the decision over Lewis, which you probably thought would be quite controversial with being a young player, and Clark obviously being a long-established player. So, it shows that he's not nicey-nicey, and he's willing to make these decisions. But
you can even mention Federico Fernandes, and when he came out against Norwich, dropped straight after
man of the match easily, and then
performance.
Dropped. So I think, but I think at the moment Lascelles holds too much sway. I think
is that because of the armband?
Yeah. That's what I think. I think like Lascelles has shown himself to be a good player previously, like before this season and probably the season before that. He's had a pretty poor couple of years, so he has got the ability. But I think Eddie Howe's probably boxing clever with him a little bit. Now that's a risk given the position that we're in, but trust the manager, I suppose. But I expect to see Lascelles and Burn in a very grumpy, moody Shaw, unless he plays 3 at the back, which is a possibility. But then I wouldn't like to see Ryan Fraser drop out of the squad.
You're sacrificing one of your attacking players doing that, though, aren't you?
Yeah, because I think him and Trippier have got a really nice burgeoning partnership going. So I wouldn't like to see that, but I think an option.
The problem which we have, though, Ian, is that if you are starting the likes of Lascelles and Dan Burn, that's leaving any sort of player that can actually play with the ball at the feet in defence out of the squad and out of that starting 11.
100%. And it's a case of then how do you start sort of building the attack from there? I really, I think in terms of Lascelles, the last couple of seasons, I think he's went completely off the boil. Even in terms of his captaincy, so I know we're talking about he's being kept in the squad because he's captain. I think so. When he first got the armband, he was very vocal. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
All right. So just that my sound went off there, so I didn't know what was happening. He was very vocal and sort of coming out in terms of defeats, things like that. He spoke very well. He's not really fulfilling his sort of captain role with that, especially the runs that we've been sort of on this season. Yeah, he's kind of sort of hid behind it. But again, like you say, sort of ball playing centre halves. If that's how we're going to sort of build from the back, you need someone in there that's able to do that. And I don't think Lascelles, again, Dan Burn probably is a little bit better.
He can play a little bit, can't he? I think he can play a little bit, can't he, Dan? I think Dan Burn. But then if he brings in Target, then he's a bit more of a footballer. Who knows?
Sorry about that. I was on mute there because I've got 2 kids screaming at us at the moment. Roger, take over for a second.
All right, but hello, Blair. Hello, Stephanie. All right. So Harry, what do you think? What do you reckon in terms of I suppose if we're going to talk about Bruno, to quote Encanto, I think the midfield, the makeup of the midfield, I think John Joe's going to be in. But where do you think Bruno fits in if he does start?
It's weird. I mean, I don't know a lot about him. I can't say I've watched League One. Well, not League One. I don't watch Sunderland, but League One. League One. I can't say I watch it. He's come with a lot of kind of plaudits, I guess. I'm hoping he's kind of just a box to box. I'm hoping he drags in the wingers slightly as well.
Yeah.
I feel with Wood up front, he's incredibly isolated on his own.
Yeah.
I feel like the wingers aren't kind of coming in support. And I remember I said in the Leeds preview, I said you need a number 10 behind Wood to support. And I think Willock did that very well. And if we can do that again with Guimaraes and Shelby, then happy days. I think that'll be perfect. And it'd be interesting to see how he plays. We don't really know. I don't think any of us really know unless you're an expert. But like you said, it's definitely anticipated. One of the most anticipated debuts in a long, long time.
I think a good thing forward as well is that obviously he has been away with Brazil and he got an assist. I think he was only in the field 20 minutes. He was involved heavily in the build-up and then got the assist at the end of that. But luckily for us, obviously we haven't played this weekend because of the FA Cup games. So it's Tuesday game. So he's had, 3-4 days now to obviously meet up with the likes of the lads and stuff like that. What were your thoughts on that video the club put out? I'll come back to you, Harry. What are your thoughts on it?
It's strange. It's not brilliant. It doesn't look fantastic, but he's just a normal human. Do you know what I mean? He might have been doing something on his phone. There's not much. If we're talking about that video, going straight to Kieran Clark, the video was fantastic. He's sexy as out, whatever, COVID test and all that. Brilliant. But as soon as he goes in the changing room, Sam Fender's on, so shout out to him as well. But then obviously you got Kieran Clark on his phone. Now he's got ridiculed for that, absolutely ridiculed. Now I look at it two ways. It's not fantastic. If they've been given a heads up that he's coming in and he's still on his phone, then I have a problem with it because you got to show respect that he's coming in. Nice to meet you, but the fact that he's on his phone, straight back on his phone, he just doesn't look bothered. Now, whether that's because he's not in the squad, does he have to be bothered? Do you know what I mean? It's brilliant. The way he was getting on with some of the players, fantastic. And then obviously when he meets Joe Linton, it brings a tear to your eye. It's brilliant.
That was the moment we're all waiting for, wasn't it? Big Joe coming in.
Lush.
Absolutely. Virgin and bromance.
So speaking of Joe, I'll come to you, Ian. We're not quite sure if he's going to be fit to play on Tuesday. There was a lot of, obviously, when we did see that video with Bruno arriving in the dressing room, the reason Joe wasn't there because he wasn't involved in the likes of the training and things like that. He rocked up in his mask as well. None of the players were wearing the masks. So if Joe doesn't start, then that's a perfect opportunity for Bruno to go straight into that start 11.
100%. It's like I was saying, it's the sort of the two players that have performed most consistently, and even in terms of the level of performance that they've give, have been Shelby and Joe Linton since Howe's come in. So obviously with Bruno coming in, he's your big money signing. It's how to get your two best players that you couldn't really drop them, in my opinion, because they've been that good. How to add him to the equation. So if Joe Linton isn't fit or he has to play on the bench, you're right. It's a great chance for Bruno to come in, show what he can do. Again, it would be interesting to see sort of if he'd go with three across the middle with someone like Longstaff. Did Longstaff went? No, Longstaff came on for Joe Linton to Leeds, didn't he?
He had a pretty good game as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought he had a solid game against Leeds. Yeah,
especially after Cambridge, and then after the performance against Cambridge, and then to do that, it's night and day, isn't it? Night and day.
The only thing that I think is a bit gutting after the Leeds match is obviously we've went away and played. Was it Al Ittihad? But there's a sort of like it could have stopped all momentum. So players like Longstaff that had a bit of a point to prove after the Cambridge game had a really good game against Leeds, and then it's sort of like no game until Everton. But again, it'd be interesting to see sort of with who he has available in midfield, what system he would play. I always like the two sort of hold midfielders and then having like a number 10, like Harry was saying, supporting the striker. But again, it's trying to get the best out of your players, because I know Willock was fantastic there last season, not so much this season. So it'll be interesting to see sort of the lineup and the personnel that he's going to go for.
Yeah, Roger. Obviously, it's every game which we're previewing here, and in typical Newcastle United fashion, we play Everton when they've just appointed a new manager.
Yeah, brilliant, Great stuff. I suppose at least they got their first win out of the way. So, you know, it would be typical Everton to like have this great performance in the FA Cup, win 4-1, and then have a dismal defeat. Like that is the type of thing that we would do, and like, you know, I think there'll be a lot of expectation. I mean, I watched the clips of the Everton game, and a couple of chances, you know, Brentford did them a couple of favours in terms of the goals, like the one where the keeper came out, and then there was one where it was defensively off a corner that weren't great. But yeah, it's one of those things where they're trying to get Dele Alli in, they're going to get Van de Beek in now. Are they going to play both those players? Are they going to give debuts to both of them, or are they going to assess probably who's fitter on the day, and maybe have them in with Allen or whoever it is they have in midfield? But when I saw the result, I was like, oh no, but we can't afford to. I think they're in the beginning of whatever Lampard's doing, and maybe that's the new dead cat bounce, you know, and maybe they get a rude awakening when they come to St James's Park, which will hopefully be an absolute cauldron of spittle and hate, and we'll give them what for, hopefully. But yeah, I'm seeing that result. I was already nervous, and now I'm like really apprehensive.
That new manager bounce, isn't it? We always talk about that new manager bounce, but then at the same time, you've got to think, hopefully we get our new manager bounce. We brought a few players in.
Yeah.
We're kind of left after Steve Bruce. We didn't get the bounce that we all really wanted, but now Eddie Howe's had his own say. Maybe he's done favours not having a director of football in, because it seems that Eddie Howe has played that role and he's had the last say in the transfers, so it's almost been his decision, the players he brings in. So hopefully this will be our manager bounce after Leeds. Brilliant. I mean, I don't know if you saw Shelby's interview after the Leeds game, but he was saying this is where it starts and we don't stop.
Yeah.
And I liked it. It was absolutely brilliant.
The thing is, the thing for us right now as well, Ian, going into that game, if we get 3 points against Everton, that brings them right back into the scrap.
Yeah.
Massively. Again, sort of discussed on Friday that I think we'll go a point behind them, which then brings another club in to then have to worry about. So that league of like 4 then grows, which is massive. Massively helped as well on Saturday with the 0-0. Probably the best sort of result we could go for. But yeah, like you say, if we get them 3 points, it brings Everton right into it, which is only a good thing for us, really.
Is a draw a bad result?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. I think it's very similar to the Watford game, where it's more than just sort of points. It's a psychological boost for the team. So you come away from Watford, if you had won, you would have been out the relegation zone, beaten a relegation rival. It would have given you a massive bounce, whereas you come out with a draw and it just seems a bit flat in the camp. Whereas again, Everton, it's the same, massive psychological boost to be able to sort of claw another team in there. So I would say it's not, I hate the phrase must win, but you need to win those games at home.
It's getting that point of the season. It's definitely getting that point of the season.
We can't afford to be coming away from games grateful for a draw, like
especially home games.
By hook or by crook, I've got 17. Being blessed by the fact that we've got this extra Everton game and the Southampton game to fit in. Like we've got 17 games in which we've got to win probably 8 more, maybe it's 9. Like regardless of how crap Norwich, Watford, Burnley are, like psychologically, we just can't lose. We just cannot lose any more games.
It's a good place to start as well, Roger. It's 2 back-to-back home games now. You've got Everton on Tuesday night, then you've got Villa on Sunday as well. Yeah. So quick succession, these 2 games, and good opportunity to climb up that league. And if you're picking up 4 points, I would say, in the next 2 games, I know we said that draws probably won't be good enough, but Villa have done really well. So it's obviously a bounce.
I think when 4 points out of those 2 games it would be fine, but the draw, we need to get the win first. Do you know what I mean? I think if we get the draw, then the pressure going into that, I think it's a Super Sunday game on Sky. I mean, I think Tuesday's on Sky as well, and then it's on TV somewhere. Like the pressure on that game on Sunday, if we don't win this one, is going to be absolutely colossal. So I think, Eddie Howe, I do believe in what Eddie Howe's doing, and I do trust in where he's taking the team, but like,
we need points.
It's going to be, and everybody has to play their part. We haven't got time for players who are not in the squad, who are, everybody needs to realise that like this club is on the verge of greatness or
delayed greatness.
Yeah,
exactly that.
Yeah. So no, well, I think like I'm not. I am worried if we do get relegated. I know we've got all this money and blah blah blah, but like, we need to stay in that league, and it has to start on Tuesday night. It has to. So I'm going for a win, but I've said crazy stuff all season, so.
I've got children problem again. Roger, I'm going to stay with you, mate, and we'll go around everybody. Roger, give us a scoreline.
Oh man, I don't think I did a scoreline on extra time. I'm trying to think. Did I? No. I'm going to go clean sheet. 2-0.
Oof. Love it.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go Bruno. I'm even going to give you scorers. I'm going to go Willock is going to score.
You've got to put this on now, though. You have to put this on because if this comes in.
Go Willock and I think Trippier free kick. So there we go.
Would love that. I think if I had to decide, I know I said a draw isn't a good result. I think it would be a 2-2. And I think it would be us that get the late goal to make it a draw. But 2-2, I think Everton have got that new bounce. Dele Alli and Van der Beek, if they play either or, they're both very good players. So it's going to be a tough game. If we can get on Pickford's back straight away, it seems like War Flags have a fantastic kind of setup for the game as well, bringing it into the leases in the Gallowgate. So I just hope the atmosphere is brilliant, which it usually is on a night game, as long as we're coming away with the win. But I do think it'll be 2-2.
Ian, what's your thoughts on it?
Usually, I always just see negativity about in Newcastle. I never really see we're getting more than a draw, but for some reason, I think this is like sort of Shelby was saying. This is where the season starts. So I think I said a 3-1 win, especially if Harry was saying if we get on Pickford's back, he just hates playing at St James's. It just gets to him. So
yeah,
like you say, the crowd on a nighttime game definitely be behind the team, and I think 3-1.
I'm gonna echo majority here, and I'm gonna go Newcastle United win. I think it's going to be a lot tougher than what Ian thinks, the 3-1. But I'm going to go 2-1 Newcastle. And I don't know which one, but I think one of the new signings will get a goal. Hopefully Chris Wood. I think
it would be nice.
It'd be fantastic for him, I think. Be brilliant. I think, like I said, isolated, but if you bring people in, he will get the goals. I think he is a good striker. So fingers crossed.
I think they can be got out at the back. Like obviously they've signed Dele Alli, they've signed Van der Beek. Richarlison's decent. I'm not sure what Calvert-Lewin's injury status is at the minute, but like Yerry Mina has got a rick in him, and he's a liability in terms of sending off. Keane is looked all over the place at times. They're bedding in new fullbacks. Like, I think we've just got to go into the game with no fear, like, which is very, very easier said than done, but the time for being scared, the time for not committing yourself is fucking done now. Like, we'll have to take the game to them, don't we? We'll have to commit to whatever Eddie Howe wants us to do, whatever and like we did against Leeds, like, Ryan Fraser in the last minute, he's walking on one leg, and he, like that spirit of like shit or bust, like whatever happens, we do not let Everton boss that game. There's obviously going to be periods where they have possession. There's going to be periods where they're attacking me. But like every single player has, as soon as they cross that white line, they have to 100% commit to whatever it is that the plan is. And that goes for everybody who goes through the turnstile. Like, we'll have to commit to like making that place like unbearable for the opposition. Unbearable.
I mean, the attitude seems to have changed, doesn't it? Anyway, like you said against Leeds, Ryan Fraser literally running on one leg, but went 1-0 up. Usually, Newcastle were all just in the box, like trying to block shots, people were trying to press, we were pressing.
Yeah.
Willock was not good, Fraser was not good. Every player gave it the absolute all that day. And if we play that against Everton, then, I mean, I did say 2-2, but hopefully that will give us that win.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Huge game. I don't know how many times we've said this season. Huge games, must-win games, and things like that. I don't think we're at the point of must-wins just yet, but it's getting really, really close. But we need to take advantage of the results around us, like we mentioned earlier. The result of the weekend, the draw. We need to take advantage of that. We can't let that pass us by.
Things won't keep falling for you like that. We have had terrible luck this season. We have had not great luck. But like,
we used it all up the last 4 seasons.
Yeah, that now teach sort of given all the players like a boost to say, right, it's on here, like it's on, you know.
And don't Burnley play tomorrow as well? On Tuesday, sorry, Burnley and Watford play. West Ham play Watford, I think.
Man United
or the other way around. Yeah.
No, so Man United, Burnley at Man United. Yeah,
fingers crossed.
Watford are away at West Ham.
We need to take advantage. We need to get points on the board. We need to be in that position where other teams are looking at us and thinking, "Shit, we need to catch them," rather than the other way around. That's we need to hold that advantage. But yeah, fingers crossed. Like I said, that Newcastle get all 3 points. It's not. I don't think it's the end of the world if we get one, but we need 3. We definitely need 3, and we're all pretty. I wouldn't say confident. Optimistic with this one.
We'll go with optimistic, not confident.
Yeah, optimistic. Yeah. So these clips don't come back to haunt us. That's why. That's why. Thanks, boys. It's been a pleasure as always.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
I'll be back on Monday night for the Always Smiling Faces podcast. Roger, you'll be back Thursday and Friday this week for extra time. Ian, you'll be at some point on extra time, no doubt.
Yeah.
And we'll be back with more match previews from the lads and much more. Thanks very much, and we'll see you later.
See you later.
See you later.